this mic, which I don't know how good that is, or if it's at all decent. Oh shoot. Okay. Mute myself. I'm gonna mute the stream that I was listening into, so I don't hear myself twice. That's kind of funky. Alright, so yeah, let's get started now. So I'm just gonna switch. Oh, there we go. We have a face cam this time. Hello, Classy Whale. How is it going? I've prepared a nice little nice little banner at the bottom, and yeah. So let's just take a look. What has been going on in the world of? Oh, my music is really loud. Okay. Well, the music is off now, so I hope my mic isn't too loud. I'll turn the music down for next time if there is a next time. I'm thinking of doing a series. A series after because I kind of needed like a some way to convince myself to stop working on the save game that I'm working on right now. And I think a good excuse is like starting a streaming series where I just start a whole new world, because it's kind of weird to go back, and be like, hey, this is what I've built, without like actually having built that stuff on stream. But I'm doing that anyway because this is like my 1,000 hour celebration. This is 1,000 hours in Transport Fever that I've played in 550 days. So that's like a little less than 2 hours per day. I mean, I haven't played 2 hours every single day. That would be insane. I just happen to have somehow accumulated that amount of time. So yeah, we're gonna take a little trip into the memory hole. Well, it's my memory hole. You guys didn't see this stuff, but we're just gonna kind of take a quick trip through all this. Well, this is actually not all of the stuff I've done. These are all my save games. Well, these are the broken ones. I actually had to go back and fix them to make them work. I had to reinstall all the mods. Because I think I mean, I bought the game in like March of 2020, so that would be like right at the beginning of the pandemic. And then I don't know what happened to my older saves in that, but I did have a save I last saved September 11th, 2020. So I consider that abandoned September 11th, 2020. That's a little over a year ago. So yeah, so we're just gonna kind of see how have I fared? How did I start out in Transport Fever, building stuff, or at least how about like 6 months after I bought it? How was I doing? And I've taken a look at these. Not good. Not good. It's not very good at this game. I mean, maybe I was decent, but like, you have to actually kind of get like a feel for things. Like you can't just like, and you gotta kind of know some. Yeah, gotta have some know-how when it comes to Transport Fever. You can't just like, draw random curves of track and connect them up to like a station wherever. No, it has to look good. It can't just feel good. It has to look and feel good. Hello, second person. Yeah, who is the second person? Who has joined? I should probably check Discord. See if anyone's been like, hey, I've joined. Thank you, Classy Whale, for saying everyone go join. Yeah, who actually acknowledged my existence on Discord. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that was real quick load time because there's not much here. This is Japan 1, as I call it. I name my saves after the like country theme. So I have Japan, Europe, and Appalachia, which only Japan, of those, only Japan is actually a country name. Appalachia, that's just a region of the US, and then Europe is a continent. So kind of a weird thing, but it's because I kind of base it off of whatever name pack or theme pack that I'm using. I guess they're not really theme packs, but so for Japan, I use like a Japanese name pack, which is not included in the game. I should probably turn on my desktop audio so you can hear the nice, cool sound effects. Yeah, this is Japan 1 with Japanese name packs. That's why I call it Japan 1. And it's like on a tropical setting, and it's a very small map. There's only 4 or so towns on this map. I usually play Megalomaniac or whatever it's called, which is like the biggest size that you can do. You actually have to enable it in the settings because it's like an experimental feature or something. So yeah, this is the extent of all I did. I have like 3 stations and like whatever's going on here. And I did not know how to do straight lines and curves, lines connected to curves, which is how you're supposed to, or at least what's kind of generally realistic when it comes to making railways. So I think the biggest example is here, where I have a 54 to 75 curve. So this is not a simple curve. This is a complex curve. Uh, I didn't really know. I mean, I kind of learned after watching Gareth Dennis play Transport Fever that you're supposed to kind of railroads are straights connected by curves, so simple curves. So I have a lot. So I did actually kind of have the whole straight thing going on, but it was kind of finicky and weird. So yeah, I have weird geometry, as I'll say. Sorry if I zoom in and out too much. I kind of finnick. I kind of love to finnick with what's the word? I kind of like to just mess around with my scroll wheel a lot, so I end up scrolling in and out a lot. Um, so yeah, really not much to see here. Just kind of a boring town with some stations and a bridge that doesn't look very good. Um, yeah, so I think we'll just leave this at that. There's like some trains, some Japanese trains. I don't even know what this is. Details doesn't even say. Yeah, very boring. So let's get further into it. Let's just to main menu. So eventually I decided I want to do a Europe theme app. Don't worry, actually, I need to load this one. Abandoned October 5th, 2020. So this is where I started to get a little bit more substantial with my building. And as you can see, this is going to be a real mess. Um, a real mess. Like I think I have screenshots from the time. I took a lot of screenshots of this map. I was proud of it at the time, but looking back, it just does not look good. It's cool, but like there's a lot of things that I would not do nowadays in building stuff in Transport Fever. This one might take a bit to load, maybe just a little bit. Oh, I've lost my viewer. Um, anyway, I'll continue talking as if someone is here. Um, yeah, this one is based off of, well, it's using an Italian name pack on the temperate theme. Um, so it's a bit weird. I think it's one of the only times, maybe I used the Italian name pack like twice or something. Because I don't know, I just found it more interesting than the French names. I don't know. Um, I think they have French names. You can do English names. I think they consider it British. I don't really know what they consider it. Um, oh yeah, maybe it's. I don't remember. I haven't used them in a long time. The recent trend is I've been doing a lot of Japan, a lot of Japanese, because the reason why is because I install a lot of vehicle mods. I install a lot of vehicles, and so when I install vehicles, I have like specific countries set of vehicles, and in order to like go do another theme of like let's do French railroads or I don't know Korean railroads or something, I would have to then go and install a bunch of Korean or French vehicles to match my theme because the vanilla selection is not very good. So I decided that I'd just stick with like one set of vehicles installed for a while. So I've now been doing a lot of because I have a bunch of Japanese vehicles installed modded onto my game, and it's like 150 mods or something that I have running at a time. And that's why it's so difficult to get these saves working again because I had to go back and reinstall the mods um, that these games were dependent on. Because if I didn't, then they wouldn't load. They'd just break because the vehicles aren't there. They're not installed. So yeah, this is Gidone. Gildone. Um, yeah, let's just take a look at the track speed layer. Oh my god, what is going on here? I went a little overboard. I don't know. Maybe a lot of trains is cool, but like this is insane. What's going on here? Um, I like wanted to do like a Penn Station style underground central terminal for my main city. I actually plopped this city here, and I kind of like it because it's a little Manhattan like. It's on like this. peninsula. I guess it's more Pittsburgh-like in a way. 'Cause Manhattan's technically an island. Yeah, so it's very Pittsburgh-like. Called Ferino. And here's its sister city of Lippi. And then this is kind of like East Ferino. So honestly, I was pretty proud of this at the time, and to this day, it's still pretty cool looking. Just the like, I have like this cool flying junction underground. That was a whole mess to figure out, and this is back when I was still using the Underground Railroads, the Underground Station mod, which is I do not recommend using that because the freestyle station mod now exists and it's much better. Um, so yeah, this is so finicky, and I did this weird loop over here to get into the station. Like, what's going on here? Under the river, because I wanted to get from this station here to to Rhine. It's just a big mess, and I had like this is a freight line going over the town, and like with a weird bridge, like bypassing everything, and then I have this weird bridge, and then I have some. It's just such a. I mean, it looks cool at a surface level, but I mean, what some weird geometry, some not very realistic slopes for roads. It's hard. Slopes in this game are hard because every intersection is level. So it's difficult to make hills or to build into hills without having weird road layouts that don't look very good. So you just kind of got to get lucky. Hey Scott, how's it going? Um, yeah, so this one I was pretty proud of at the time, and I kind of was thinking about it recently. I'm like, I kind of miss this map. It's fun to play around with, although I would do a lot of things different. Like I wouldn't build a metro like this, like elevated, using the Japanese elevated station mod. It has some weird asset things going on here. And this is like not any simple curves or anything, which is kind of realistic for a subway. Um, Kinda, I don't know. Just riding subways, I know for a fact that a lot of the track layouts are not simple curves or anything. It's usually because of going into stations. Um, but yeah, so I have some weird stuff going on here. And like this metro goes all the way out to an airport, and so I was doing an airport in this, and I have like capital city airport, which because this is I consider Ferino to be my capital city, but of course, you build an airport far from the city. That's kind of how you do it. Except I made the mistake of building it right next to another town, so the noise emissions are terrible, absolutely awful in this area. Um, and so yeah, I have like a weird thing where I have two railroads meet. So you actually, in order to go from here to here, you have to transfer here. I don't know why. I think I just found it difficult to serve this town without making it like a terminus station with like a weird junction here. A lot of tunnels. I honestly do miss using a temperate map. I used to do a lot more, but now I've been doing a lot of tropical. But the problem is with the reason I don't like temperate maps is because they're entirely land for the most part, except for a river or two, or I guess three in this case. And so you kind of get this like hard border. Whereas I have a mod that makes island maps, like tropical maps that are completely surrounded by water. So it feels more realistic having a like an island like that you're just working on this island, whereas this feels like it could be part of a larger country, but by the limitations of the map size, um, you kind of have to just kind of connect all of this together without connecting it to anything in the outside world because there is no outside world. So I kind of got tired of that. So yeah, see, I actually kind of have like a loop here of railroads. So I've coming around all the way around here, and then around the mountains, and then through here, and then back to the Ferino. So it's a bit, I don't know, it feels weird having to like do stuff like that. Whereas with the island, it's just kind of like, oh, it's surrounded by water. You can't take a railroad over the ocean. So yeah. So yeah, this map, pretty cool. Lots of interesting cities. What the fuck is going on here? Yeah, this is kind of an example of why it's weird building into mountains in this game because some weird shit goes on with the intersections of roads. Yeah, here's an example. Yeah, little finicky. Yeah, I don't like that. And it's just there's a lot of like little micromanagement I have to do to make it look good. And I have this like I built like a viaduct because I wanted to bypass the city here, so I built a viaduct bypassing the city on the river because I don't know why, but yeah, that's what I did. It's kind of weird. And then I have like a loop of track that like goes around. Oh, I need that layer. Like goes around here, and then there's like a. Oh, I don't even. This is for this, I think. Yeah, I have a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here, but it's just not high quality stuff. I'm criticizing my own quality, but yeah. Um, and I built like a metric. You know, this is one of the things I took a lot of screenshots of. I was this because I had just when I was doing this map, I think I started it October. Okay, so I abandoned it in October, so I would have been like just a new Temple at student, a new student at Temple in Philadelphia. So I was kind of inspired by the Ben Franklin Bridge, where it has Patco running on either side of it, kind of built into the bridge. I wanted to do something like that, where I'd have like kind of a metro subway of some sort come and go over the side of a bridge. So I did that. It's kind of weird. It doesn't really go anywhere except for, yeah, I don't know. Not really any reason to do this. I have to. This was a whole pain getting it up to the and then going over this street here, and it was. This is in no way realistic at all. But and then like this flying junction, it's so. It doesn't look good to me, but um, it was fun to make at the time, in a way, at least. So let's just move on from this one. We've seen mostly what there is to see in that one. I might skip a few that I find uninteresting because I want to save some time, and I want to get to Japan 6, which is my most recent map and the one I'm most proud of. And we'll take a long tour of that one because I like that one a lot. So let's just skip. Yeah, we can skip Japan 2, Appalachia 2, Appalachia 1. We can skip the one. Okay, the interesting thing about Appalachia 1 is that it is, yeah, you can kind of barely see from this thumbnail. I started it as a game, um, like actually not doing infinite money. I usually just do infinite money, and just build whatever the hell I want to. But this game, I actually started out with the game economy, like trying to play the game as it was intended to be played, technically, as like a a transport tycoon game in a way. Um, I didn't get very far in that in terms of like I went bankrupt in like 10 years. Um, I don't know because my ambitions were too high or something. So I eventually just turned on infinite money and I started to build out. But that means I was starting the game in 1850. So I actually started from the beginning of like the time that you can't start the game in. This game only ended up at 1965. So I was like running like freaking like Zephyrs and stuff. I think my new thing at the time was I had like a Zephyr going like high speed for the time. Um, so that was an interesting map because I actually was having to deal with Steam engines, but it was mostly vanilla for the most part, um, with some mods here and there. This one, Appalachia 2. This is, if you look on my YouTube, it's the one that Appalachian Shinkansen comes from. Uh, that's like the only thing I'm proud of in this map. Everything else can go to hell. Um, Japan 3. So this is where I actually decided I'm just going to do Japan for the time being because I don't want to deal with having to reinstall vehicle mods and all that all the time. So I just... It's my camera. Okay. It was like, am I out of frame or something? Yeah, sorry if I'm looking here and my camera's here. It's because I have a big monitor here with my stream up on it, or with my streaming uh, uh, what is it even called? The studio, YouTube studio, up on the big monitor, and I have my game on the small monitor because playing this game at 4K, it doesn't always go great. Okay, so yeah, Japan 3. Yeah, we'll take a look at Japan 3. So this one, ooh, that's a loud noise. Japan 3, I I did a weird thing where I basically built out some lines, and then I decided I wanted to make it a faster line. on this like main coastal corridor. So I actually kind of paralleled it a bit with a Shinkansen line, but then kind of in one portion of it, I deviated from it to kind of go through a mountain. So it's kind of an interesting example of like building a new line that like kind of parallels an old line, which is something I do kind of a lot now. But it was also like when I was really getting into installing like a lot of mods, like a lot of vehicle mods and stuff. And now I have like now my main map has a lot of stuff. I need to take a drink of water. Whew, I'm talking so much. Whew. Oh, it's already been 20 minutes. Okay. So yeah, after I finish the stream, I'm just gonna uninstall all the mods that I had installed for the stream to make stuff work because, oh, man, it's a lot of. Oh, I didn't. It's not responding. It's a lot of space. Like it's like tens, hundreds of megabytes per mod. Sometimes it's weird. I don't know how like a vehicle can be that much data, but maybe it's just not very well optimized. My voice is kind of going dry. I've been speaking too much. I need to slow down. Yeah, this one's a bit slow to load because I have a lot of mods. I feel like I hope it didn't crash. It sometimes does that. It might. Oh, no, it's working. Okay, okay, it's working. Don't you worry about it. Usually, if it crashes during loading, it crashes at 2%, or actually 4%. 4% loading is where it always crashes because that's kind of where it's loading in mods, I think. I don't know. It just always every time it's crashed at loading, it's crashed at 4%. So if I get past that, it's probably going to load in. But then I had an issue where a mod got removed from like the workshop or something, and so it was no longer installed because it just got removed from the workshop. It uninstalled itself or something, and so, or I think it's yeah, I don't know, but um, so when I went into the game that it was installed in, it just like it loaded in, but then I like looked around, and when that like it was a bridge, I think. So when I looked at the bridge, it just crashed because it didn't really know. Well, when I tried to get the bridge on screen, when it tried to render it in, it crashed the game. So I don't know what was going on there, but well, I mean, I know what's going on there, but yeah, it made the save. It broke the save, I think, because there's like, how do you go in and delete the bridge if you can't even see the bridge? So okay, ooh, okay, we're gonna not look at that for now. Um, so yeah, so you can see here, I kind of was a little bit more narrow in my focus. I kind of really focused on. At this point, I had stopped caring about freight for the most part. You can see I built some like dummy freight infrastructure. So I fully focused on passenger railroads. But and this is when I also started to realize that you have to do straights and simple curves. So that's what I was doing here. You can see some nice simple curves and some straights. So that's now all working fine. Um, I was really obsessed with this German stations mod for a while. I don't know, they looked much nicer than the vanilla stations. So I was also obsessed with island platforms, which you could do with that mod. So that's why this station is a two platform, four track station. Um, so yeah, here's the Shinkansen line. You can see it denoted by the green color here. So I did parallel this line. I didn't really, I mean, I could have made a faster right of way for this Shinkansen, but I didn't really deal with it. But you can see here's the train, nice and blue, running on a ballastless track. It's a slab track. Um, it's another mod I installed. So it's a bit slow on this part because it has a big curve to go around. But once it gets past, it gets to Molnbetsu, and has a straightaway. It's past the city, over the old right of way, a few weird curves that I probably should have figured out, um, and then straight through the mountain because the old right of way kind of goes along. I mean, yeah, I think the biggest slowdown here is this really sharp curve in Minolbu. But for the most part, this this saves a lot of time, and it also expresses. It doesn't stop anywhere except for here and here at my big station at Konmaki. And this is probably one of the biggest stations I've ever built in this game. I'm actually pretty proud of it. The station throat looks pretty cool, except it's a bit symmetrical and wide at the back than a lot of stations. Well, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how to make realistic looking station throats. I'm still working on that. Um, but yeah, so I have a weird line here where I just kind of serve these two towns with one line. That's kind of, I don't know if that's very realistic. It's just kind of weird. Didn't really feel like doing like a tunnel or something here. Um, and I have like this Y junction at a station where this used to be an interchange to a different railroad. So I was kind of at this point, I was simulating like different railroad companies in a way, which I kind of stopped doing. But you can see I have this purple, which is the I was obsessed with naming them specific Japanese names. Kaigan Dentetsu, the like coastal railway, coastal electric railway, and it is electric, as you can see with this catenary. And then the other line here, this is the Chuo Dentetsu, the Chuo. It's a very long vowel sound. The Central Electric Railway, Hachioji main line, Minami Boso line. So I was like really obsessed with like getting some nice names for my railways. Nowadays I got lazy about that. But and now they interchange here, but the Chuul actually continues through. This is Chuul territory. They just gave the Kaigan Dentetsu running rights on this portion of it. So yeah, some very simple infrastructure, some tunnels. I was obsessed with like making very wide station for throats and terminal stations. I really like terminal stations. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of this one, honestly. It came out looking pretty good. For my next one came out with some issues that are my fault, honestly. Oh yeah, and this is the main terminal. This is kind of the headquarters city of my Kaigan Dentetsu. I have like a weird curvy station throw into this double island platform station. Okay, so let's take a look at Japan 5. We're almost getting there. We're almost to Japan. Is this Japan 4? I think this is Japan 4. So let's take a look at Japan 5. And then we're at Japan 6, which is the one I want to show y'all. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so that was Japan. Was that Japan 3? Oh, it's so slow. Hold up. Okay, so that was Japan 3. We'll skip Japan 4. There's nothing really interesting about it. I didn't build that much railroads. I made a lot of highways, kind of seeing how that worked in this game, and they weren't. You can make dual carriageway highways in Transport Fever. They suck. Never do it. It's not fun unless you are really, really bored and you want to just finick around with a game. Don't do it. Always build your highways with like at grade intersections and stuff because Transport Fever 2 does not know how to do uh, like freeways or anything like that. It's impossible. And honestly, that's a good thing because freeways suck. But this game is not very good at making freeways. And the tools you're given don't make good freeways. But let's take a look at Japan 5. This one, I'm trying to remember what I did. Oh yeah, more of the same, I think. But refining my skills, and I think the most important thing about this map is this is where I realized you can do freestyle stations. And Scott knows, if Scott's still here. Scott knows. He saw me discover that you can do freestyle stations underground, which is like the biggest revolution in Transport Fever 2. I was like, oh my god, I don't have to deal with the underground station mods, the underground stations mod anymore. So yeah, I love the freestyle stations mod. Basically, the gist of it is that you can draw station platforms like you can train tracks, or roads, really. I mean, but mostly it's the same. It basically is a track that you then use like markers or whatever to turn into platforms, into working platforms. And it makes it so you can have curved station platforms and other stuff like that. and underground stations that are very easy to make because you just draw them next to the tracks and then you turn them into, I don't know, it's just so much better than like vanilla stations, because vanilla stations you have to plop them down as like assets, as like an object, and then you have to connect up the tracks to it, and then like modifying them is like a whole heck of a mess. um, you do get more you get more flexibility in terms of your the modifications you can make in terms of like assets and like how it looks, but the actual usability of them is very poor. Um, so the actual like gameplay of them is not fun. So yeah, this is the first. This map is a mixture of traditional vanilla stations and freestyle stations. Um, and there's like a lot of mods installed, so that's why it's taking so long. But I've been using a pretty consistent set of Japanese train vehicles throughout all these Japan maps, except for the first one. The first one I only had like two or three. Um, yeah, so this is a mixture of all those station types. It's kind of a big amalgamation of a bunch of different building styles from throughout my history playing this game. So it's kind of a weird one. Um, I don't remember when I abandoned this one. I think it was May of this year. I think, yeah, I've been working on the one map that I've been working on, Japan 6, all summer into the fall. So a lot of time has been spent on that map. This map, I didn't actually spend that much time. I think I abandoned my previous map like in April, and then I started up this map in like after that, and then I worked on it for like a month or two, and then I stopped doing it. Um, but I did get a lot done for just a month of playtime. But I think one of the reasons why I haven't gotten more done on my Japan 6 map is because I like had a job this summer, so I wasn't doing much Transport Fever for a lot of time. I don't know how I reached 1,000 hours in 550 days with the small. I guess I did play it a lot this summer, but like not as much as usual. I don't know. Um, I think COVID, like right at the beginning of the pandemic, I just constantly played the game because I mean, there's a lot of maps that I can't show you because I deleted them a long time ago that predate Japan One and all that. I'm like, I have memories of these maps. I'm like trying to remember. Some of them were pretty cool. They were pretty cool, but they were um, flawed. They were flawed maps, so they had to be destroyed. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, pretty dense network. Where I think, yeah, so the interesting thing about this one is this is the first time I really started to focus on, um, I think like, is that this map? I think that might have been the previous one, but I did start to focus on regional transit a lot more. So I actually had like a good subway system or some sort of like, almost like an S-Bahn, but doesn't really do the whole S-Bahn thing of like going in and out of the city center. It just kind of goes into it. So I had like a tunnel through this downtown that is S-Bahn like, and it goes out onto this right of way. It has like short trains. Um, and so this is like a dense, like this is like a center city connection here. Yeah, I love this shit. Just like right through the buildings. This is cool. I put an airport right in downtown. Worst mistake of my life. Still hadn't. Okay, but the thing is, I don't use it, so um, there's no noise emission from it. But um, yeah, weird little map. Let's see. Oh, I have like a big ass bridge going over this to get to this city. This is one of the trends. My next map also has like a city that's stuck on an island, and one the thing is with the city stuck on an island is it can't expand very well. So the ideal size of the city is 5,192 population, and it's sitting at about 866 because it ran out of land. It ran out of land. So um, yeah, I do have like a tiny. I have a really cool little, uh, almost streetcar or trolley like line, but it's running a DMU. It's running a diesel multiple freaking unit. So I don't know what the hell this thing is, but weird little line that terminates at this station. I think what did I call it? The port line with a capital LINE. Yeah, as you can see, my render distance is really low because I had to turn down my graphic settings in order to get the frame rate to a reasonable level. Um, oh, okay. So what the reason I stopped doing this map is because I decided I wanted to make a highway, and then I absolutely fucked it up. Well, I didn't fuck it up. The game fucked it up because you can't make good looking highways unless you like install mods that even I don't know how to use. So I fucked that up. It doesn't look very good. I was kind of not happy with it, and so I didn't want to deal with deleting it, so I just stopped playing the map. um, because it bothered me so much. Yeah, what's going on here? Like, come on. Like, I think it's because just the way nodes work in this game is just utterly not fun. Utterly not fun. Um, yeah, I was really infatuated. I think that's the word I'm looking for. I just really liked like bypass roads and bypass stuff. So I just kind of built a bypass highway of this city, but it didn't end up looking good, so I abandoned the map. Um, and as you can see, I never finished the connection into this city because I couldn't really figure out how to connect it up to the city very well. And I have to deal with this railroad here. Oh, that makes a noise. Oh yeah, so the one of the things I'm proud of in this map is kind of my network on this chain of islands here is just very interesting. Um, I have like some local lines. I have like this weird line that like only has a station here for the town. This was the OK Railroad, but the thing about the OK Railroad is that it made a more direct route across the water to get to this city, but it bypassed this city, and then I had like a tunnel. That I don't know. It's weird. Oh, that doesn't look good. What's going on there? Yeah, as you can see, I have some more dummy freight infrastructure that I never really ended up using. A lot of bus lines. I have a whole trolley network. That's kind of the start of my obsession with. Oh, actually, those are buses. Yeah, where is my? Oh yeah, here it is. I have like a light rail network. I downloaded a mod that had. Oh, what's happening with the? Why is it so faded? Okay, that's weird. Yeah, so I have like a light rail network of some sort in this town, which is pretty cool. Um, Oh yeah, it's this. No, no. Oh yeah, this city has like an actual. No, not Omiya. Where is it? I could have sworn I had a more substantial. Oh yeah, I do. Here it is. Yeah, there's my light rail vehicles doing their thing. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's much improved on my next map. So yeah, that's that map. Well, we're done with that. So let's take a look at Japan 6. Finally, it's been 45 minutes. We haven't even got to it. Let's do that. Load game, please. So this might be the longest load time of all. One viewer. Who is that viewer? You would dox yourself in the chat, please. um, I just love this. I love this save game. I mean, you can tell I've been working on it since May of this year. So I've been working on it for 4 months. Just playing on this one map for 4 months. Although I did realize I needed some sort of change. So that's what I'm hoping I can do with like if I do a streaming series of like just building, like actually going through and building stuff as opposed to just showing you stuff. Um, so we should do that. Um, loading. I'll drink some more water. Water break. I'm glad people have stuck around. If it's only one person, I'm glad at least one person has stuck around to listen to my ramblings. I must sound like a madman right now. Ugh. Oh my god, it's still only at 4%. It goes fast once it gets past that. Because again, I think that's when it loads in the mods, as it loads it in right at that point. So it takes a while. I wish it would tell me like what's actually happening in the loading process at any point. That would be quite useful. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know why I'm holding a pen. My average watch time is 3 minutes and 35 seconds. I guess I'm not that interesting. I hope my game doesn't crash. Because, again, 4% is where stuff crashes. Whew. This is scary. Ooh, it's not responding. I might have to go and uninstall all the mods I installed. Maybe there's a conflict. That would probably explain it. Something just happened. Oh, it's responding. It worked. We got past 4%. Hallelujah. All right, come on. People are waiting here. The anticipation, the suspense is killing me. Do I have homework due tonight? I think I just got to read something. That's fine. Reading takes no time at all. I'll probably end the stream at like 9:30 or something, so I can do my homework. I can be a productive student. You know, I don't think I have any other homework because I only have one class a day because my weird schedule. So I just kind of worry about one class at a time, which is kind of nice. It's not kind of nice, not gonna lie. I love how I'm getting 1 frame per second right now on this loading screen. Can't even bother to give me more than 1 frame. I should do a desert map because the three default map options in this game, you can have a tropical map, you can have a temperate map, or you can have a desert map, or they call it dry. And honestly, the dry maps look pretty damn cool. I've played with them a bit, a bit. They're like, honestly, like look at this picture. Like the you have like this, I don't know, just some really cool topography. Problem is it's hard to build railroads over that topography or through that topography. So it becomes not fun sometimes. That's why. And then I have some modded. Um, I have some modded climates, like Appalachian. So that's my Appalachia ones, where like an Appalachian climate. That's like a modified temperate climate, but with like a little bit different. Um, the problem is that Appalachian mountains are very like parallel to each other, and so you have like big long lines of mountains. So it's hard to go around them. Like the valleys are easy, but like it's hard to go. You either just tunnel straight through them, or you got to like find some weird windy route to get past them without using a tunnel. So it becomes not fun because it's like or there's no obvious rights of way to just like going through the mountains, which is like real life, I guess. It's difficult to get through places, but the problem is because the maps are so small. There's no like gaps. Well, there are gaps, but there's no like not enough gaps in the mountains to make it feel like you can somehow get through the mountains. Even like you can, because in real life they have like railroads that like deviate a really far amount out of their way to get through the mountains, but in the map it's like deviating that amount of like deviating that amount would just be like going from one side of the map to the other. So like it doesn't really make any sense. So I just tunnel through the mountains usually. All right, here we are. This is my favorites map. So I'm just gonna get an overview. How far can I zoom out before the render distance fucks up? Yep, there it is. Ooh, that's slow. yeah, I can't really show you the whole map at one time. So we're just going to start kind of in the capital city here. Ooh, it's chugging. It's loading stuff in. All right. So yeah, this is the capital city of Ueda. Don't know why I made it the capital. I think you know why I made it the capital. It's kind of in this cool, like protected valley almost. I did like a modified tropical climate or tropical map generator where it made like I did plateaus and stuff. So it's kind of weird. Oh, I hope I'm looking at my stream preview right now and it looks kind of blurry. I hope it's not too bad. Not. I hope the bit rate is doing all right. Not giving you guys a headache. Um, yeah, so it's kind of just protected in that way. It has like a natural wall around the city, which to me was pretty cool. Um, and so I have some railroads going through here. We have our main line here. This is, I don't know what the name of the main line is, just the main line. I call it, honestly, I'll call it the central main line. So this is the main, so originally the central main line actually went here. This is the old right away. And it kind of, I don't even remember exactly what it did, but it had like a weird meandering route of getting through here. Eventually, I made that the secondary line, and it actually was not as winding as this. It was someone pinged me on Discord. I should probably look at that. That's probably important. One, okay. I'll deal with that later. Yes. So yes, this is the main line. I made it more or less. I made it less windy. I was gonna say more or less windy, but that doesn't sound very. That doesn't sound good. Um, and I kind of made it kind of go across the mountain and then through the mountain here because we have this like because I basically we have this like corridor between the mountains to get to the next city over. That is an opportune way of getting between the two cities. Problem is that now all the transport has to go through this one corridor, so I had to kind of squeeze it in there. Um, and I have this like very tall bridge that brings it down into the station. Um, not a fan of the green bridge. I should have done something else, but oh well. It's kind of hard to change it now. Chugging. Okay. Problem is, I actually added a station roof before there was no station roof. They're all exposed to the station, but it is a big station. It's got 3 platforms, one side, two island, 5 tracks. I use this track here on the side as a turnaround track, as a terminus track, so trains come in and they pull out the same direction they came. I have a station here that's just a local only station. Express services bypass it. Virginia Hills North and Virginia Hills South on the old line here. So it's kind of this little area. It's kind of in between the two. I don't know why it's like a weird sideways square, but that's kind of the way the game built it. So I'm not going to complain. Actually, I will complain because it's a dumb AI, but you know it's fine. And then I have here. This right here is a bypass. Well, it's not really a bypass. It's a way to get from this far left track to this to the main station here at Ueda, without crossing over like 6 tracks at grade and interfering with just interfering with shit. So um, I built a whole ass bridge for that shit. And the reason why is because I have a line that comes from here, this weird tunnel thing that I probably should replace with something a little more realistic, but oh well. That goes underneath the main line onto this line, which then comes around eventually into Shibetsu. So Shibetsu has I'm going to say an almost SEPTA regional rail style network going on here. It has, I mean, not really exactly, but it has essentially this, I should probably turn on, there we go. So this is kind of the main central corridor through town for like regional trains, or I guess commuter rail almost. Um, and they have 2 terminus stations here, one for trains going back this way and one for trains going back this way. And then there's I think one line that goes through both out the other way. So it's just kind of a way to have it's kind of like a semi S-Bahn service going on here, except very much not S-Bahn infrastructure, as we have some at-grade crossings here. Um, like all the way, there's no tunnel or anything. I've said S-Bahn more than once this stream. So this was built kind of after I built this main line. This main line was built first. This is the, so I basically this island, so if you couldn't tell, it's an island, completely surrounded by water on all sides. I won't give you the whole tour of the coast, but um, basically all the railroads on this island, I decided, are nationalized, or at least whatever it is in this case, if it's a state or a territory or whatever, they are all one railroad. So they all have one color, and that's orange, except for the regional services or whatever, the non longer distance routes. They are, owned by the city or whatever. So this is a green. What do I call this? The SRR, the Shibetsu Regional Railroad or something like that, or the Shibetsu Railroad or something like that. I don't know. I just make some acronyms. Um, and one of the main features that I built to make this work is because originally this line just kind of ran, it deviates from the main line, comes through town, and then went off in this direction to kind of meet up the main line again, because there's this mountain here in the way, and so the main line, the long distance line, goes around this side, and the regional rail line kind of goes on this side, and they meet back up at Yuzawa. So I built this here. Actually, I'm pretty proud of this. This was just some very close engineering here. Very precise engineering, and I kind of have this, like, I wanted to get up the mountain and across. I didn't want to tunnel through. That felt, a little expensive. So even though I'm playing with infinite money, don't worry about that. So I had it go up in a switchback up the mountain. Not too bad of a switchback, honestly, for this mountain. And I kind of did a little bit of a cut through the top of the mountain just to save some elevation gain. And then we come down the side, over the tunnel, and then back to meet the main line. So that's what made this line work. And then we have some interlockings here to then have this line go over and around, and then now you have a local service from Shibetsu to Ueda. It's kind of weird that Shibetsu has a regional rail system and Ueda does not, but don't worry about that. It's just, I don't know, I couldn't find like a good way to figure out how to do, because it's kind of already served by our orange. I never gave this a name, these orange lines. I just kind of call them. I have a naming scheme for the lines. I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 49 for this short little thing here. 91, 90. This is a circular route, so 90 is clockwise, I think, and 91 is counterclockwise. Then 100, 110. It goes all the way up to 180, and then we have 500 and 510, which are the express routes, kind of faster routes that stop less. Then I have 600 and 610, which are technically city-owned. Don't really know by who, honestly. It's kind of just a regional rail system for these three cities. And then we have, okay, so yeah, that's that. That's Shibetsu. And then we have, it goes into this city. This is Yuzawa. So this was, I think, the second branch that I built, because I have this main line. The main line is the first thing I built. It was not 4 tracks at first. It was only 2 tracks. I expanded it to 4 tracks eventually. It's actually 2 tracks up here. So we'll actually start where it terminates. So this is Kami. Kami has the terminus station of the main line. It's a weird station, honestly, not a good idea to build a curved station like this. But I kind of wanted to not interfere with this road here or something. I don't know, it was dumb. But then I needed a third platform, so I just built that one straight. It's a little shorter, I think, than this platform, but generally it works. I terminate my express service at this platform. As you can see, it's pulled out of the platform. Yeah, so I actually run a Shinkansen rolling stock. I don't know what Shinkansen rolling stock it is, but I think it looks nice, so I run it on that line. To run, because here it looks like it's just a 2-track, not very fast line, and it isn't. I can only get up to 75 miles an hour on this line. But once I get out of the city, here's a Kamishiso. This is a station in the think I have actually I have a cardinal. I have a directional system here. So this would be east. So that would be north, technically. Oops, very slow. This would be like the north station for Kamishiso, just to serve this area here. So you don't have to like get off your train all the way up. Oh, and this is what I was talking about with the fact that I have a city that's stuck on an island. It's a much bigger island than the other city, so it kind of looked a little bit more interesting. But yeah, so I have a lot of roads. I have a bridge here and a bridge going that way. And a lot of stuff going on here. I have an airport over here. This is the Kami Amagasaki Regional Airport. Kind of weird little drop-off loop kind of going on here. And I have a tunnel, very steep, going into the tunnel. I had to work on that, but that connects up. If I get this open, there it is. Tunnel connecting up Kami to the airport across the water. And I built a metro system. It's going a little slow, but this is the ICR, the Intercity Rapid, is what I called it. So that connects up, if I open up my, there it is. So I built a system to connect up Kami through here to Amagasaki, which is a city over here, without having to use the main line. Get some more local stops in there. And then it also connects up to the airport in this Y junction. So there's 3 lines. There's the this one here, which there's one to Kami, one to Amagasaki from the airport, and then there's one that connects to both up. And it's kind of a triangle of lines. You can see here's a train going through the tunnel. I used like some I think it was like Taiwan metro tracks for this one. Shanghai, not Taiwan. Shanghai metro tracks. Has some weird looking switches, but oh well. I thought it looked pretty cool. And I have like a weird, completely not structurally stable drawbridge here. Don't really know why I needed a drawbridge. Just felt like I might need to put some ships in here at some point. Although it's not really high enough for a ship to go under. At least a bigger ship. Okay, and so I have above ground station on the metro, and then it goes underground to the city. So yeah, the next station on the main line is Amagasaki. This one has a weird spur platform here, which is actually not used coming from this direction. It's only used going that direction. As you can see, it splits into 4 tracks here. And then now we have some faster tracks in the center. You can get up to 186 miles an hour on these tracks. Funnily enough, I accidentally used a bridge here when I built the line that only allows up to 68, but I'll deal with that some other time. Although you're not really going much more than 68 or 70 going out of this station anyway. So oh well. Yeah, here we have it's going a bit faster. Oh, you can see the race. Yeah, you can see it's going much faster because this train has to slow down because it has to stop at this station. So this is at the point where, so the game by default, industries don't need passengers. There's no desire for people to go to an industry. They're just freight magnets. They're not people magnets. So I have a mod that's called Industry Needs Workers, and that makes it so industry is actually like a destination for people. And so that means you can have more realistic like stopping services, local stations for stuff. So you can then have express services, because before the only reason people need to travel is to get between cities, which is like not exactly, because real life people got to get like not just between cities, but like in places in between between the big cities. So and the problem, okay, I have a mod installed. I think it's messing with my city generation. It's like making them really big. All of them are like really big and skyscrapers, metropolises. I don't think it's supposed to happen. I don't know. I feel like my other games didn't have that issue, but I've been having that issue a lot now. Because supposedly it's by your demand. It's like all this turns into an equation that calculates how much your population. Oh my god, it's supposed to be 12 for. Oh my god. Whew, I think it just ran out of space, maybe. I'll have to deal with that. See if I can expand the city, make it... Oh, wow, what is going on here? Okay, the game is having a little bit of a seizure. Um, okay, so yeah, so the main line has a spur here that heads off in that direction towards the mountains. This one goes, it's a big, wide line. Eventually it gets you into the city. Ugh, it's chugging. I'm gonna stop the simulation so it doesn't chug as much. All right, so here we have the line going over the mountain like I showed you earlier. Here's the old line. So this old line has a spur. Well, it's not really a spur, it's the old line, but I modified it so single tracked. So there's a line that actually goes between this city and this city entirely on the old line, just kind of like as a heritage thing. There's not really a reason for it to exist, but you know, it's cool. There's the train doing it. Here it is. It's a diesel only line. It's got a weird little train going on it. I don't know. I just felt the need to keep it, do something cool with it, I guess. Um, Here is Iwade Station. I built it half underground. So originally the line would kind of came through here at grade, kind of just carved through the city. So I actually rerouted it under the city into this tunnel, as you can see. And so now it's nice and separated from, because I was having traffic issues, and I still have traffic issues, but that's besides the point. I actually narrowed this road because I built a bypass of the city that nobody is using. It's their fault. Okay, some people are using it, but I feel like more people should use it. Oh yeah, oh god. Whew. Oh my god, what's going on here? Yeah, okay. So when you have big cities everywhere, the game is kind of stupid. It just decides to just have so much traffic. Um, yeah, so that's that. Oop, accidentally closed my stream thing. Yeah, so that's that city. Nice weird highway bypass. It's like the only major. Okay, I have a few major highway bypasses, but as you can see, I'm not doing dual carriageway because that becomes a mess. At great intersections, it's just kind of a semi-freeway. More, yeah, less interstate, more state route, big road. Yeah, so I have it comes down the mountain because at this point, this city is I think the highest on the map. It's like really high up. It's like 100 something meters above sea level. So we start going back down towards sea level, and we end up at this station, which is Mosuishi. Mosuishi. I built this used to be an at-grade intersection with the road. I put the road underneath it, and I put two bridges here. And then I put this bridge over this road. It's kind of a whole mess going on here, but it worked out. Um, some more local stations, and then we get to one of my big cities. We have Kosaka. This is kind of the terminus, kinda, of the main line, and we have a big weird interlocking here, big station throat, and we have this station here, which is Kosaka Coastal, which I consider it's kind of a weird junction here, and then we have go down to coastal. So this is kind of the coastal terminus of a bunch of lines that go along the coastal main line, which I'm in the process of upgrading to 4 tracks. As you can see, it's still 2 tracks this direction. I think that's east. Maybe actually that might be north. So yeah, weird, complicated junction going on here, and we come out here, and this is where my obsession with bypasses continues. Oh my god, what is happening here? Holy shit. Please stop doing this, AI. I don't enjoy having to clean up your messes. Whew, that's a mess. Okay, I'll have to deal with that later. Yeah, so I have like a little freight bypass of the city because the main passenger line goes into the city and does some weird curvy stuff. But I have like a tunnel underneath this portion of it, so I can get to like this freight depot. I have a line connecting this city up to this city and then coming around over to this city here. Really complicated network of regional, local, and express services. Although this line is starting to get very clogged up because it's only 2 tracks, but it has like 5 different lines running on it. So I need to, that's why I'm quad tracking it. All right, this I'm pretty proud of here. I have a kind of a light rail metro going on here. I just changed the rolling stock to be this British tram of some sort. Oh, it's actually, yeah, it's transfer for Wales. Um, so it's Welsh. And it's this portion of it is elevated, but then there's a new portion of it that I built that's actually underneath here, doing a bunch of weird shit, following the main route, the main road, and they actually connect up. So you come around here, go through here, blah blah blah, and then it connects up. You go through this station, and then you can go down into the line underneath. So it's actually kind of a loop almost. I don't know, kind of weird. I have this station here. This is Minami Furano Junction. Because the line, the main line going along the coast comes up from this direction, goes around, and curves in the city back to go that direction. Because I wanted to serve the city without terminating in the city, so I just wanted to do like kind of a New Haven, or not a New Haven, yeah, almost a New Haven. I don't know, kind of just a junction where you have then a line go up from to go into the city, but it actually goes into the city and then it goes up over this island, and then we have like a kind of far out station called Horse Island with a bus that connects you to some industries. There it is. Oh yeah, if you turn on bus routes, then you can see there's a lot of stuff going on here. Very extensive bus network in this city. I could probably improve it a little bit more, but otherwise it's working fine. This is the follow the main line. Going back out, here's a tunnel to connect to a city across the water that you can't see because it's so far away. Toriyama Junction, because we have a junction here that then heads up to a city over there. This city, which I've been working on a little bit, I have a light rail system that actually connects it to the next city over along the highway for some reason. I thought that was a good idea. Yeah, weird little light rail system. But you can also get there by train or by faster train. So I'm not really sure why you need it, the light rail. I guess it's just kind of to improve downtown to downtown connection rather than having to go up to the station. And then we have like a weird, I'm actually pretty proud of this, a weird jumping across some islands to get across to this city over here. I have a drawbridge, which is a pretty nice mod I have. It considers it a depot. That's the only way to really consider it. Only way to really get it to like animate like that. But yeah, it's weird. This is Mukul Main Street. So this is actually the terminus of my the SRR, which comes down here from here it is, Shibetsu. So it comes along the main line, serving local stops, serves the main station, and then I didn't want to terminate it in the main station. I actually couldn't really get a good terminus here because I have the road in the way. I don't know. I didn't want to deal with that, so I have it come through and then terminate at its own station, which is almost kind of like a Thorndale situation in on SEPTA, where you have Thorndale where it terminates, which is not an Amtrak station. It's just a terminus station for SEPTA trains. Although the trains, I think, do kind of get in the way of each other a little bit because there is no pocket platform, pocket track for it to go into. Yeah, so just a lot of jumping across water in this map because it's a bunch of islands. And I have a line that goes over to the airport over here, which actually is served by some stuff. Or one line connecting across the map to... Ooh, chugging, because I'm trying to render all this stuff very quickly. Yeah, over to this airport over here. I just built a new, this is the newest line on the map. I connected the SRR on a new flying junction to a new line that connects it up to, through a tunnel, to Hakone. So I made a nice new station here with an island platform to adjacent to the old station, which is still served by other services. I have an extensive bus network going on. Ooh, so I could load it in. I have a, where is it? Here is my biggest bus depot, or my biggest bus terminus station here. This is Yokkaichi Bus Terminal. They have the Yokkaichi lines, or the Y lines, as an extensive network because it's not very well served by trains. So they, in lieu of that, they have one station with one line coming through. So in lieu of that, they have a lot of bus lines connecting to all the cities in the area. So that's pretty cool. And I downloaded some nice coach bus mods. Get some nice coach buses for them to use. That rock. And I've even given them some better infrastructure. I actually did this right before the stream. I gave them a nice bus-only lane so they don't block traffic when they're stopped. I need to work on getting Hakone better crossing this rail line here so you can build some stuff here. So I'll work on that. What have I missed? Anything that I've missed? Oh, okay. One more thing I want to show before I go because I'm getting tired. Here I have, so this used to be just a line straight through this city here. This is Shinshiro. This line used to just kind of come through and there was no station here. And so because there's a lot of lines just kind of converging here. We have this, I think 610 or something, 600 maybe. And then we have the port line. I guess I also called it the port line, just like in my old map. And then we have the line something something, line 150, all meeting at this station. So I wanted a way for these these trains to kind of meet at a station, but also then continue on to the main station of town, which is Shinshiro Hillside. Shinshiro Hillside is a bit cramped. It's kind of on this hillside. It doesn't really have much room to have a good terminus. Well, I mean, it does have a good terminus. It has a terminus platform here, and then some trains terminate here, but it was kind of limited. So I decided I needed to. Oh, and also I wanted this line to kind of go through the city and then go this way. So I made a station here with 2 island platforms, 4 tracks, kind of Temple University in a way station. That's kind of what I designed it after. Although it then has to go to 3 tracks to get across this bridge. And then the orange line, 150, goes off this direction while the other 2 terminate at Hillside. Yeah, it's kind of a bridge Y junction going on in the city with a skyscraper right in the middle of it. Not probably not the best place to put that, but okay. Yeah, so I'm just kind of really proud of that station. It was like a big project to kind of realign stuff, and then I also have this freight line going here, which I built, which actually goes over the other tracks. That was kind of pretty cool. Not really necessary, but I could have just kind of put it to the side, but oh well, it kind of looks cool, so I kept it that way. Yeah, so that's, I wish I could show you more, but I'm getting tired, so maybe I'll start a series where we actually start with a whole new map and we actually do more interesting stuff, like building tracks, which is more interesting than me just talking about stuff. So yeah, I hope everyone has a good night. I don't think there's anyone currently watching right now, but I'm just talking to myself. But we had a total of 4 viewers at one point, so I'm just going to pretend they're still here. Yeah, everyone have a good night, and I hope you tune in if I do some more streams. And I hope you liked the stuff I got to show you. And I hope it inspires you to do to play 1,000 hours of Transport Fever 2 yourself. It's a terrible game, honestly, not a great game in the grand scheme of things, but it won my heart just from being tedious and fun, and at the same time. Transport Fever 3, I'm hoping improves on a lot of. I didn't actually discuss many of my qualms and many of my problems I have with Transport Fever 2 in this stream, but I have in a previous stream. So yeah, Transport Fever 3, please come and take me away so I can spend many, many more thousands of hours. Okay. All right. I'll end the stream. Have a good night, y'all.